Hi guys, it's Miss Trish. I'm gonna read you another story today. The story I'm reading is called Phillippe in Monet's Garden. As you can tell, Phillippe is a frog, and he is actually right here himself. So I love Phillippe. My niece keeps trying to steal him, but I always get him back. Um, so Monet is a famous name. I want you to see if you can figure out what Monet does. I'll get through it. The author, so the person who wrote the story, is Lisa Job Carmack, and the illustrator, or the person who drew the pictures, is Lisa Kenne Chasseau. Sorry, my French is not very good. I apologize to anyone who speaks French. So Phillippe in Monet's Garden. Right here we have Bistro, special of the day, frog legs. Ooh. The story begins in a frightful way. Frog legs, special of the day. In the city of Paris, as everyone knows, frog legs are eaten, except for the toes. They are buttered and baked and sometimes fried, and the bigger, the better is always the guide. A train ride away in the French countryside, a frog named Phillippe with a marvelous stride. He got his name because of his leap, which was the biggest and grandest, just like his feet. Phillippe liked to play in his pond every day, and he tried not to mind when his friends were unkind. They're there in Paris, getting ready to catch the frogs, and there is Phillippe with his very big legs. Tee hee ha ha, you're a dumb looking frog, they teased the unhappy Phillippe. Your thighs are too long, your shape is all wrong. You can't be our friend, you just don't belong. And that's not very nice, is it? We don't say that to people. The frog catcher crept with his big trusty net as they bullied Phillippe and made fun of his feet. Oh, frog catcher's coming. Oh no, it's not fair, they cried in despair. Phillippe in your net is a far better bet. Big feet or not, I haven't been caught. These legs won't be buttered and baked or fried, but as for you, well, I bid you goodbye. Leap, leap, Phillippe, he heard the sheep bleat, and kept on hopping. There was no time for stopping, as he made his escape from a gruesome fate. Un, deux, trois. So 3 jumps. Un, deux, trois. Just when Phillippe was all out of leap, he came to a gate of the Monet estate, and reading the sign, which suited him fine, he begged Monet's pardon and entered his garden. Monet's garden, no frog hunting. Oh my, what a size! I can't believe my eyes! Exclaimed the painter Monet. What a physique! Those legs are très magnifique! You're the perfect addition to my garden, not my kitchen. You can see Monet's paintbrush right there. Philippe's grin grew a mile wide. He wouldn't be buttered and baked or fried. The smile became his only expression, because Monet's garden made quite an impression. Monet showed him the pond, of which he was fond, where he painted the light between daybreak and night. And as for Phillippe, there were bugs of all kinds, green ones and pink ones, on which he could dine. So Phillippe found a home to call his own, and Monet added some green to his painted scene. And as you can see, the bistro special of the day is now omelets because they don't have frog legs. And Monet is Claude Monet. He's actually a very famous artist, and what he's famous for is there's a word that was used in the book called impression. So, so here it says, because Monet's garden made quite the impression. Monet was part of what was called the Impressionist movement. So when he painted using small little strokes that you could see. Whereas a lot of other painters use big strokes that would all blend together. His would kind of just, you'd see them up close. You could really, really see them. See, there's a little bit about him. So Claude Monet was a famous painter, lived more than 100 years ago. He lived in France in a country town. He loved bright colors, so he planted many different kinds of flowers in his garden. He dug a pond and filled it with water so that he could paint the sky, the trees, and trees reflected there. Monet planted beautiful water lilies in the pond. Their leaves floated on the water, and yellow, pink, and white flowers bloomed on top of the leaves. Monet loved to paint with bright colors too. He painted pictures of the water lilies in his pond by dabbing bits of colors side by side. When you stand back, you can see the shape of a flower, but when you look up close, you see strokes of paint. Look how Monet used blue, purple, and pink, and yellow and green. So here is the big picture. But here's what it looks like when you look up close. You can see all the little different strokes. So as you can tell, there's many different kinds of painting, and this is Monet. Monet was one of the most popular Impressionist painters. I actually have a book about him. I'm not going to read it to you, don't worry. So I actually have this picture hanging in my house, a copy of this picture. I do not have the real one. But what Monet also liked was a lot of times he would use the same building, but he'd paint it over and over again, because he would paint it during different light using different colors. I don't know if you can see it up close. And this is one more picture. This is the one where this is the Parliament building in London, but look at the colors. Look at the shadow of the building and the sun, and then the reflection on the water. It's on the River Thames. And you can see, if you look really close, all those little dots of color that make one big one. If you want to check out any more of Monet's paintings, you can on the Museum of Fine Arts website, which is mfa.org. They do gallery tours online, so you guys can see some really cool paintings. I know they have some Monets and some of my favorite work, because I actually have my degree in art history because I love art. But I will see you next time. So I say farewell, and so does Phillippe. Bye.